So this one is on faces. You've all heard that the more average a face is, the more attractive it is. They play this on like Discovery Channel all the time, and it is taught as a fact in school. This is in chapter 15 of your university psychology textbooks. So I'm going to be breaking that down. I'm going to look at how they did the study and show you why this obviously doesn't make any sense. Alright, if I were to simply make the statement that average faces are more attractive than attractive faces, most people would say I'm crazy. Well, they probably wouldn't, because today we live in a day of evidence and anti-logic. So as long as there's a study saying that, then people will believe it. Doesn't matter what logically makes sense. But if you think about it, it is completely incoherent. Okay, how can an average face be more attractive than an attractive face? How can an average speed car be faster than a super fast car? It doesn't make any sense. That's impossible, right? Okay, so the only way this could be conceivable is if when you average out everybody's face, it turns into a supermodel's face. Is that what's going to happen though? The answer is no, that cannot happen, and I'll explain why that is logically impossible. Alright, so let's start here with a super beautiful face. Okay, I think Jennifer Lopez has a very, very beautiful face. Okay, now if we were to average it out, okay, so what percent of people have a face as feminine as Jennifer Lopez? Okay, we're talking maybe 5 to 10%. Okay, so if we average this out with 90% of people who don't have a face that's feminine, is her face going to look better, or is it going to become worse? So let's just think about it logically, okay? Will her skin texture become more or less smooth? Obviously less smooth, because if you're starting with perfect skin and you're going more average, the 90% of people do not have skin this smooth, okay? Now let's take hair, okay? If you take the average person's hair, it does not look anywhere close to this lustrous. Is her hair going to become more or less lustrous? Is it going to lose or gain volume? It's going to obviously lose volume and become less lustrous, okay? Now look at some other features, okay? So he has an extremely narrow nose, all right? That's a very, very feminine feature. Take the chin, okay? She has like a 90-degree chin. Alright, that's an extremely feminine feature. If you ever draw anime, you'd notice every time they try to make a beautiful anime girl, you always have a 90-degree chin. Like, if you average her chin out, is it going to become wider, or is it going to stay like that narrow, right? So obviously it'll become wider if you average it out, right? Take the eyes. Are the eyes going to become? Are they going to droop? They're going to like droop if you average them out, and they're going to become smaller. And that's going to become less attractive, right? So, okay, let's look at teeth, all right? If we average out Jennifer Lopez's teeth, are they going to become more or less crooked? Obviously, they're going to become a lot more crooked, and they're going to become yellower, right? Nobody has teeth this white, right? So, whatever it is, if you start with a, beautiful face, and then you average it out, it's going to become less attractive. So, why is this phenomenon even happening? Why is it that when we average out normal faces, they become more attractive? And the reason is simple. It's because you're eliminating really weird things, all right? So if you look at normal faces, like, 1 out of 10 people is going to have gigantic ears. So if you average that guy out, his gigantic ears are gone, right? Now person number 2 is going to have really weird, ugly eyes or something, right? Average it out, gets rid of that. Person number 3 is probably going to have really crooked teeth, right? You average that out, all the faces, their teeth are going to become less crooked, right? So if you average out faces, it gets rid of all the really weird stuff, and it's going to be better than like most people who have some kind of like big weird thing in their face that makes them less attractive, right? But it's certainly not going to produce a face that is exceptionally like supermodel beautiful, right? And there's always a balance point, okay? Because if you have an excessively masculine face or an excessively feminine face, that's not going to be attractive, right? If my chin is this wide, like this wide, that's ridiculous. Like that's not going to be attractive, right? All right, so let's just do the experiment, all right? Obviously you can't average every human face on Earth, but do it with a lot of freaking faces, average them all out, and then compare it to a supermodel face, and I guarantee you people are going to rate the supermodel face as more attractive. Do the experiment, see what the results are. And I don't want to totally discredit science either, because I think there's a lot of good stuff being done in science. I think 60% of science is probably good work. Makes sense, right? But I don't like this religion today of scientific authority where and this whole idea of you can't use logic to determine everything. You have to only use evidence, right? Everything must be evidence based, right? So, anyways, if you like this video, share it, subscribe. I'm going to make a whole bunch more videos on Science is Stupid, and enjoy.